Welcome to the wall. This time, we're going to talk in the video about women and divorce, but apparently, according to them, divorce is the result of narcissistic men, and of course, they have nothing to do with it. We want you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers before May, and with your support, we can make it happen. Don't forget to leave your comments and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. All right, let's get started.
You get to a point where it's not even about courage anymore. It's about the fact that you've just accepted that it's either go through the hard part of being sad and being alone and navigating the healing journey, or stay where you're at and be so miserable and unhappy. So the day that I told him that I wanted a divorce, it was just one of those things that it just came out. It just happened. Obviously, I thought about it. I thought about how I would say it, how I would deliver it. Obviously, I never wanted to just completely go out and like hurt him. That wasn't my intention with getting a divorce. It wasn't like, let me put you through what you put me through and like break your heart. Like that was not it at all. It's just, I got so tired of being unhappy. And it was just, I came to that crossroads of, I'm so tired of being in this place and I only have one option. And that's to just navigate the road of being single and healing and being sad. And I think that's what keeps people so stuck, is they don't want to navigate the hard road of sadness. And I get it. It was sad. I was hurt. I was just in a place for months. Now, 16 months later, we're grooving, we're moving, we're secure, we're so happy. But it takes time to get here. It does not happen instantly. You have to choose yourself. You have to choose the healing road in order to get to that place. And that's what people are so scared to do. So don't focus on when am I going to have the courage to tell him. Focus on how you feel inside. And I'm telling you, the day is going to come where you're just like, I don't care anymore. It's not even about courage. It's about the fact that I can no longer live in this place and I'm going to do something about it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Brothers, responsibility is kryptonite for women. Here we have the typical one who wants the ring and the wedding, but not to be a wife. She wants long-term financial security without the responsibility of having a home and a husband. Her entire narrative revolves around herself, her sadness, her healing, her happiness. At no point does she mention what she did for the relationship or what efforts she made to save the marriage. She simply got tired of being unhappy and decided to leave. What really happened is that she wanted to keep living like a single woman while enjoying the benefits of being married. And when the reality of commitment became too much, she convinced herself that the problem was the relationship, not her inability to take responsibility.
Isn't it crazy that we get into relationships with people? A lot of us have gotten into relationships with people that are narcissistic, like no one's behind the wheel, and emotionally illiterate, don't know how to connect, none of those things. We're codependent, we're unhealed, we have all these traumas and wounds, and we don't even recognize that. And so we're in a relationship with someone that we're craving love and emotional intimacy from them, and they're incapable. Like, they're not capable of ever being the person that you would want them to be. And guess what? They're not going to be that person with anyone else because they can't. They have brick walls around their heart. They're never going to be able to have emotional intimacy with anyone because they don't have it with themselves. They don't take relationships seriously. They don't know how to connect. They have such fears. They have such walls up. They have such a facade of who they are. And this is how they will live their life forever. But the problem is we don't see any of that in the beginning stages of dating. All we see is like potential, or we see some things that we kind of like, and we don't even know our own selves. We don't even know that we're wounded. So we end up either changing, conforming, ignoring, suppressing, like we're doing all of those things just to try to get the relationship to be somewhat of what we want it to be. Well, if I change and I do more of this, maybe that person will change and give me some more intimacy, or they gave me a little bit of a crumb, and so I'm just going to keep taking those crumbs. No, honey, this is your trauma coming through. This is the stuff that you haven't healed. The problem, the sad part was that there's so many of us, and I was there, and I know you've been there, or you are there, hopefully you're not, but you don't even know any of this. Didn't know any of it. Didn't know this person, didn't know they were emotionally illiterate, didn't know myself, didn't know I had wounds and traumas. And so people will just suppress for years and years and be in relationships with people that they think are their soulmate, and they're not, because there's no emotional intimacy there.
First, they call men narcissistic and emotionally illiterate, but then they complain that there's not enough intimacy. So which is it? The problem isn't a lack of emotions in men. It's that the very things that attracted them in the first place, his strength, his dominance, his ability to stay composed, are now being labeled as flaws just because they're not getting constant emotional validation. On top of that, they use the lack of intimacy as proof that the man is disconnected, but never acknowledge what they've done to kill that connection. Many gain weight, lose their attractiveness, become cold, full of complaints and demands, and then expect the man to be just as excited as he was in the beginning. It's easy to blame the other person, but when a man stops showing interest, there's almost always a reason behind it. And many times, that reason is staring back at them in the mirror.
I read something today that said, in the narcissist's mind, why do they want to destroy us when we genuinely just want to love them so much? There was a response on there that really made a lot of sense. And it said, narcissists only choose good people. And this is true. They choose people that they see value in, someone that they have a hard time being. It's a battle for them, and we are showing them something that they struggle with. So it's better to destroy something that they can't become. So they take something so good because they're drawn to it, because opposites attract, but they can never be that. So they have this jealousy and they feel the need to destroy you. They mirror good, but they cannot be good. And as they try to be more like you, they become more jealous and they break you down more and more. And it is a constant battle within themselves. So then they start realizing their flaws, probably more likely on a subconscious level, and it makes them secretly hate you. So they feel like they have to destroy you. They feel like they have to destroy what they can't attain.
This is the typical woman who feels attracted to Chads, the ones who take her on an emotional roller coaster, and then complains when they treat her the same way they've treated everyone else. She says that narcissists only go after good people, but she never mentions that she's the one letting them into her life. When a nice guy comes along who actually values her, suddenly she's not interested, because he doesn't give her the emotional chaos she craves. But of course, in her mind, she's the victim and the man is the problem. There's never any self-criticism, never a moment where she asks herself why she keeps repeating the same pattern. She only complains when the consequences catch up to her.
One of the most interesting parts about getting divorced young is that all of a sudden, all of these people that you thought were happily married start coming out of the woodwork, and they're like, hey, how did you know it was time? Hey, what was your breaking point? Hey, what advice would you give me? And I love that. It's like all of a sudden, all of the secrets and like the weird pretending that you're happy falls aside, and fucking love that. Yes, come to me. I will be your emotional support divorce doula anytime you need.
Here we have another case of someone not only celebrating her divorce, but also trying to recruit more women to follow in her footsteps. Basically, she's saying, I failed in my marriage. Now let me help you fail in yours too. The worst part is that she sells it as if she's liberating other women, when in reality, she's just validating her own decisions. Because if divorce were truly so liberating, she wouldn't need to convince others to do the same. This isn't empowerment, it's misery looking for company.
I genuinely do not even know how to begin talking about everything. I found out about the cheating after a really bad argument that we had. And in this argument, the things that he was saying didn't really correlate with the life that we were living. The year previous to me finding out about the cheating, we were trying to start a family. And we were very happy. We were accomplishing things that we never imagined of accomplishing. So we were living a very happy life. So I don't really know where it switched to being unhappy. The argument consisted of a lot of manipulation into making me believe that me asking for the bare minimum was unheard of and disgusting and something that I should have been ashamed of. I was so ashamed that I ended up writing him a 2-page letter, begging him for forgiveness. I read him this letter. He forgave me. And he just fell asleep so soundly that I knew that there was more to it. and I decided to go through his phone. When going through his phone, I found out everything. It was right in front of me, and I saw my world crumbling in front of me. It was messages between him and women. It was messages between him and his friends with screenshots of the conversations of him and women. It was voice recordings. It was Google translation, because he didn't know how to say it in English. So he was translating it into English so that it could make sense when he was flirting in English. And my whole life just flashed before my eyes. It was the most traumatic thing that I could have ever experienced. And when we chose to try to make it work, I thought we were both going to work, and it wasn't. I was spending my nights praying over him and begging God and pleading with God to repair my marriage, while he was continuously lying to me and still making a fool out of me in every way possible. He was not giving me any reasons to trust him. It was just not being reciprocated, and I was fighting alone. It all hit a climax when I found out more lies and more things that he was being untruthful about and unfaithful. And he looked at me in the eyes and he told me, I do not know how to respect you. I picked up my things, I left. And the hardest part, I thought at the time, was living with him, trying to repair my marriage while he just discarded me like trash. But in reality, it was restarting my life, and from scratch. And it was very hard. And I made these videos not to post or for clout. I made them because I needed to heal. I needed to have something to hold on to and grasp and tell myself, you're going to be okay, and you're going to look at these and you're going to be fine. And that's exactly what this is. And it ends up that I'm not alone. And there have been many other women or men too, that are coming out and saying, like, this has happened to me as well, and worse. It's shit. It's a shit process. It hurts. It's painful, but you grow and you get better. And while someone can destroy a part of your life, you're actually just starting a brand new book and a brand new chapter that has endless opportunities. So it's shit, but it gives you hope.
Hey, bro. What? Oh, my God!
Here we have the classic case of someone who tried to buy love and got a defective product. Apparently, she brought a man from another country, gave him stability, took care of him, and as soon as he got comfortable, he cheated on her and left her emotionally devastated. The problem is that these types of women think they can secure loyalty with paperwork and favors. But love can't be bought, and when a man feels trapped in a relationship out of convenience, he'll look for his freedom the moment he gets the chance. She thought she was building a family, but in reality, she was just sponsoring the ticket of someone who never saw her as a priority. Now she cries and says it was the most traumatic experience of her life, but the truth is, she played the game and lost. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are some questions for you. What's your opinion on these divorced women? Have you ever been called a narcissist as a man when you left a relationship? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.